Hi, my name is Sandrine Lewis-June, and I'm a financial coach at the United Way Center for Financial Stability. Today I'm here with my lovely friend, Kathy.
Hi.
And we're going to be talking a bit about ways that can help you save a bit more money during the summer. So let's dig right in.
So, number one, I just wanted to thank you for taking some time and sitting with me today.
You're welcome. It's always a pleasure, Kathy.
I feel very happy to announce that thanks to our meetings from last year, I was able to implement my summer savings plans from last year, and now I'm finally ready to go on my trip this year.
That's
so
so
I'm very excited.
Uh-huh.
So I had a couple questions that I wanted just to run by you. Some things have popped up now for the summer, and I just wanted to see if you can give me just a little advice or maybe some guidance on a couple things I've heard.
Okay.
So I do have the savings that help me pay for my flight and my hotel for the trip. But now I have some more urgent expenses that are coming up as I plan to go on the trip and things that I want to buy on the trip, whether that's food or just, I have a problem with buying gifts for everyone back home. So I just wanted to budget for that a little bit more in advance than I normally would. I am happy to tell you that I've been able to put I did set up my savings, so I've been making all my contributions to my IRA, and that's looking great. And
That's
I did
awesome.
implement our plan of saving for my short-term goal of the vacation this year, the summer
That's
vacation.
really exciting because you're actually implementing your long-term goal, right? Which is your retirement, things that you're going to look forward to spending and saving. But then you have your short-term goals, right? Those under 5-year plans that you do plan on doing something with immediately as soon as you get your goal. So I'm really excited for you.
Okay, so I had a couple questions that I just wanted to run by you. I wrote them down because I'm a planner. So now that I have everything paid for and everything's ready to go, my long-term goals are okay. I've been putting my contributions to my IRA. It's looking great. And I've been making my smaller contributions towards my short-term goal, which I think, well, we had settled on $50 a month, and that's been actually great. It's not something that was taking too much out of my regular budget, or because it's not something that I normally would have saved up. Just I really wanted to go on this trip this summer. So now I just need help a little bit with the budgeting and some of the things that I've actually want to purchase on the trip, because I didn't plan for some of these things. At least not when I was saving up for actually buying the flight and the hotel. Like I need transportation now, to from and to wherever I'm going. My food expense for the actual trip, and just what should I be using? Should I be using credit? Should I be taking cash? Should I be just
All right,
bunch of questions.
Understood. So our first thing is going to be, how far away is your trip?
Well, it's 2 months out, so I know it's a little short term, but I mean it's the summer, so I thought that would give me enough time to just scrap up some extra savings to make sure I had some extra cash or just some extra money to be able to put towards the trip.
2 months is actually really a great amount of time.
It is great.
Right? So
perfect.
You have about 4 pay cycles, maybe 3 to 4 pay cycles in between that time where you're going on your trip. Here's a really good thing for you to do. Since you're already a planner, you want to go throughout your days on the trip, right? And plan exactly what you're going to be doing. Are you going scuba diving? Are you taking the train? Put amounts towards each one of those. Once you have a total outlook of how your trip is going to look, if you're going with other people, this might be split between a couple or a few people, so this might be even better, all right? But you want to make sure you have a grasp of how much money this trip is going to be costing. Okay? Once you have that, your second thing is to decide, how am I going to pay for this? Okay? So you might just make this decision to actually use your debit card. You might make the decision to bring cash. And you might make the decision to bring your credit card.
Yes. I wanted to ask about that too. So my card, I know I can put, my debit card, I know I can put my travel notice on it. But I've also heard a lot of people mentioning travel cards, or cards with, I guess, points for traveling. So do you recommend, for example, in my situation, should I apply for a travel card just for this trip?
Okay, so because you are traveling more often throughout the year, we talked about your year plan, and you are starting to travel a bit more, it might be a great idea for you to use those cards to leverage to get more points, more benefits, more ways to save money. just remember that if these are credit cards that you're getting with, let's say, a lower credit line, you want to keep in mind to keep yourself under that 30%, okay, of usage, only because you have bigger goals in the future, right? You want to save for a house.
Yes.
And then always keep in mind that although you might be getting a 1% or 2% cash bonus, cash reward, leaving that balance can cause you up to 24% in APR.
Oh, wow.
Okay?
Yeah,
so
important.
It's always important to think about, okay, how much do I spend on this card to maximize my rewards, but at the same time, using the card in a way that's smarter for me to reach my goals.
Okay, so would you recommend taking then a mixture of cash or the currency wherever I'm going, if it is international? And should I take the one credit card? Should I take multiple credit cards? I'm not sure what the proper or the best scenario would be in that case, just to make sure that I'm not surpassing my budget, because I do have bills that I need to make sure that are paid before I leave. So what would you recommend in that sense?
You mentioned something really fantastic that we all want to keep our eyes on, our bills. Right? So our day-to-day expenses, we want to take care of those before we go on the trip.
Okay.
Even if it's like 2 weeks away, your due date is 2 weeks away, just take care of it. Because it makes it easier for you to have less financial stress on, your home life. It might cause insecurity or even vulnerability if you do spend a lot of money on the trip. So take care of that first beforehand. Part of deciding how to pay for things is knowing what the exchange rates will be.
Okay.
If you are going to Europe, if you're going to several different countries within there, knowing which one to use the euro, which will be most advantageous for you to maximize how much you're going to be spending, but also know, well, some places it's easier for me to use my card.
Yes.
For example, you might be staying at several different hotels during your trip, right? You want to make sure that you have enough credit line or limit on your credit card in order to put deposits down.
Yes.
Okay? So things like deposits for a rental, things like deposits for your car. You don't want to get your cash tied up in that.
Okay.
You want to be using your credit cards in a very, strategic way.
I think one of the things that might make me a little bit more cautious is thinking of, if I'm getting this credit card or if I'm using one of mine, what about the payments when I get back? Like if I'm racking up a good amount of charges on these credit cards, because sometimes I feel like it might be safer to use the card because, there's insurance or different things put in place to protect me as the user. But what about the bill when I get back?
You mentioned something really important, but just be sure to know that sometimes debit cards also offer the same advances, right? Yes. So sometimes your debit card, if you're with a national bank, might offer those travel insurance opportunities.
Okay.
Call them and see if they do have that.
And this is for my own bank.
Your own bank could offer it to you. But you want to also have a clear idea of what kind of protections that you need when you're there. Okay? Your second question was, can you remind me of your second question?
Should I in that sense, I guess I'm more scared of if I use the one credit card, even though the travel rewards, just to think about the time frame of, because I'm going to cover my expenses, but by the time I get back, what is my bill going to look like? If I'm going to be having to pay, $300 for that first payment, like how should I frame that, or how should I best go about that?
You want to look at your pay cycle.
Oh, okay.
Right?
Yeah, okay.
So we each have a pay cycle, when our bill is going to be due, when the credit card closes out that bill cycle. Okay. If you are taking one that just started on the bill cycle, that's even better for you, because it gives you a longer period of time for you to maybe pay that credit.
Once I get back, okay.
Exactly. So pay attention to those pay cycles as much as you pay attention to the credit limit and the interest rate on those cards.
Okay, so aside from the credit stuff, what about when it comes to debt and cash? Should I be tapping my savings to take some cash? Is that a good idea? Is there a small amount that it's okay for me to tap my savings into and be like, I'm going to take $300 from my savings as cash that I'm going to have on hand for the trip?
So with that list of expenses that you created for your trip, if you find that you do not need extra money, I would recommend that you do not tap your savings for that.
Okay.
And it's also important to remember, even while you're on your trip, your money should be working for you.
Yes.
So you should still, even if it's a minimal amount for that month, you should still keep your savings habit intact.
Okay.
Keep on savings, because once you break it, it might be very hard for you to get back to that cycle, right? So if you do feel you need an extra cushion, take a minimal amount and tell yourself, well, this is my emergency money. Okay. Have a plan for that money that's in your pocket.
Okay.
That way, if you do spend it, it's purposeful.
Yes.
It's not accidental.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
Very important.
Yeah.
So with the idea is, I think 2 months is good enough time for me to just set some money aside and have some spending money for the trip. But what about, because I feel like, okay, well, I've saved up for this trip, and now all my savings and even my budgeting is going towards this specific trip. What should I do in order, or should I focus on this when I get back, or just to set up for next year? Because we've talked about this. You know how much I love to travel and how often I like to travel. Mm-hmm. So what's the best plan of attack for that? Should I wait till I get back and then figure out or strategize a new savings plan specific, again, to the next summer goal? Or should I I wanted to see what your opinion was on that.
Right, so it might not be really useful for you to do it before you go on the trip.
Okay.
And the reason why is you always have that in the back of your mind. Well, I'm going to Jamaica next month,
okay,
so maybe not spend as much, right?
True.
So
okay,
because you have that goal in mind,
it'll limit.
It'll help you with some self-control, but it also reach your goal even quicker.
True.
Right?
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
So I guess it's basically the same idea of when we were talking about your short-term savings, but I can start saving even before I leave on my trip.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So I guess I should always try to avoid touching my savings as much as I can.
Absolutely, as much as possible, because your savings is your buffer, right?
Yes.
You also have an emergency savings account, so you have some buffer in order for, if anything were to happen at home, if anything were to happen abroad, you want to be able to cover it without putting more financial stress on yourself and thinking about the next paycheck and the next paycheck, right?
And with the savings, so for this one, I knew how much I was saving, and I was keeping that within my regular savings account in the bank. Do you have any other, recommendations for saving money when it's a shorter term goal? Maybe, not mixing the money in the same pot with my regular savings.
So when you have a shorter term savings goal, it might be useful for you to have a bank with a higher interest rate. Okay, because if you do have a shorter term, let's say 1 year, that interest rate can help you maximize how much money you're getting from the bank. A 2% interest rate versus a 0.02% can make a huge difference in the return that you're getting every month. So if you do have your money in a regular savings account, but you do want to maximize, see how much you can, you can pay yourself, right?
Yes.
So basically it's putting your money into an account that helps you even make more money. So look into online savings accounts. They save money because they do not have brick and mortars, right?
Okay.
And you might also want to look into maybe a CD of sorts, right?
Okay.
Things like that to help you maximize how you're saving. And I know you have the credit goal, so look into credit building accounts where you're saving money. Yes, you're saving money and you're also building your credit at the same time. These are just options available to you to make sure that you're saving money, but then your money could be doing 2 things at once.
Wow, you never leave me any questions unanswered. It's just like, okay, I have no more. So I think then I feel much more confident now when it comes to saving, especially for my trip. I think in the past it was much more, and like how before I started coaching with you, it was a little different. I was saving much more sporadically because I knew that the trip was coming, and then I'd stop everything and pay my bills and grab $500 from my savings and be like, I'm ready.
Exactly.
But it's like saving now with a purpose, where I know well, this is dedicated. My seasonal savings plan.
Exactly.
So it's been great, and I thank you so much for coming over today and just answering all my questions.
I do want to remind you that summer is really a fantastic time for you to reevaluate those savings goals and to get a jump start on it. Because now you have a lot of opportunities to like enrich your lifestyle. You have a lot of opportunities to go out, go to festivals. You know, you're going to be having a lot of fun. Exactly. You want to be having fun, but you want your money to also be having fun, right? So we're going to be working on both those things at the same time.
Perfect. Yeah. Thank you so much.
Love working with you, Kathy.
This is always great. So I'm glad you were here today, and thank you for helping me set up this goal. And I mean, you're always welcome to come and join me on my trip. You earned it as much as I have.
No problem. Have a great time summer saving.
Thank you so much.
All right. Bye.